Welcome to the Manders Mindset podcast. Here you'll find both monologue and interviews of entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, and a variety of other people, where your host Amanda Russo will discuss her own mindset and perspective and her guest mindset and perspective on the world around us. Manders and her guests will help explain to you how shifting your mindset will shift your life.
Welcome to a unique episode of Manders Mindset. As always, I'm your host, Amanda Russo. This week, as I've reflected on Thanksgiving, I noticed something. Whether on social media, on other podcasts, in conversations, everyone has been talking about what they're thankful for, what they're grateful for, all of the blessings that they have in their life. And don't get me wrong, gratitude is so important. I have a very strong gratitude practice. But today, I want to take a different approach. I want to talk about what we're not thankful for. I know, that might sound a little strange, but hear me out. It's a mindset shift that doesn't get nearly enough attention. When we take time to reflect on the things that we don't enjoy in our life, that challenged us, that were difficult or are currently difficult things in our lives, it gives us opportunities for growth. It gives us opportunities to progress and to advance within our lives. And that's what I want to explore with y'all today. Before we dive in, I just want to take a moment to say thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. We're over 100 episodes in, been doing this for over a year now, and I am just so thankful for all of you. Whether this is the first episode you're ever listening to, you've heard all the episodes, you've sporadically listened, I appreciate you being here. And I appreciate you spending this time with me, because time's the only thing we can't get back. And there are so many podcasts that you could be listening to. And you're choosing to tune in to Manders Mindset. And honestly, I'd love to hear what you think of the show. The segments you love. Is there something I say that annoys you? Regardless, leave me a review. Leave a comment on YouTube. I'd really love to hear what y'all think. I had a friend once who hated that I said, AKA the breathing goddess, in the beginning of the show. So I stopped saying that. I had a listener tell me that if the podcast episodes with a guest are over an hour, they prefer a takeaway because their ADHD gets confused and misses stuff that was said. So anytime I have a guest episode over an hour, I record a takeaway. Now, you notice, even when I introduce myself, I don't say, AKA the breathing goddess. And you'll also notice I always introduce myself. I'm Amanda Russo. There are some podcasts you'll hear that people don't introduce themselves to the start, which to each their own. But I had an ex tell me that he thinks it's really good as an outsider, because if it's his first time tuning into my podcast, and that's somebody who listens to a lot of podcasts for the first time, he wants to know who the hell the host is. So that's something I continue to do. All that being said, I'd love to hear from you. Love to know what you like, what you don't like, anything. So let me know. Give me some feedback. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Leave a comment on YouTube. Hell, send me a message on Instagram. The Breathing Goddess, Manders Mindset. You can contact me on either. Now, let's get into today's topic. Together, we will reflect on both gratitude and lessons that come from the things that we're not thankful for, and how this simple shift can allow us to readjust, realign, refocus, and move forward into the rest of the holiday season and then the start of the new year on a new foot. Now, some of what I'm saying about reflecting on what we're not thankful for might sound a bit strange or even feel uncomfortable, but hear me out. When we take time to reflect and review the moments in our lives that felt challenging or overwhelming, or when things didn't go how we planned them to, or things that we don't enjoy about life, because that will always come up, we can see them differently when we take time to reflect on them. This could be a simple thing, like maybe you told yourself for Thanksgiving dinner you would only have one piece of pumpkin pie, but you had 3. And that's a promise you broke to yourself. And it might seem simple. Maybe your best friend's telling you, don't beat yourself up about it. It's just 2 extra pieces of pie. But you know it's a promise that you broke to yourself. It's time to reflect on that. Because to ask yourself, take a step back and review and reflect, what can this teach me? How can this help me grow? Because sometimes the moments we're not grateful for hold the greatest potential for change. That's how we progress forward. That's how we change our lives. Not when things are going well, when we're so frustrated that we fell back into that pattern, that we did the thing we said we weren't going to do. And now we finally say enough is enough. Maybe it's that relationship you know is not good for you. That was me 5 years ago. And I finally said, yeah, it's Thanksgiving Day, but enough is enough. But the reflection part is really key in reflecting on, what can this situation teach me? What can it teach me about myself? What can it teach me about how I show up in relationship to other people? It allows you to figure out how to progress forward. For me, this Thanksgiving was different. It was the first Thanksgiving without my cousin Kay. And honestly, it brought up a lot of grief. It definitely made me miss her even more. You know, as y'all know, I've talked on different episodes on here with guests that I am not super close with my family. I don't have a problem with them. I love them all. We just don't hang out. We're not a family that is close-knit like that. But my cousin Kay and I were the type that a lot of the family members, or there were different family members that just bugged the two of us. And she was that cousin that I could say whatever to. She was that cousin I'd be texting at the dinner table, as there's multiple of us sitting at this dinner table and I'm texting her underneath the table saying stuff about people. So for reference, a little bit of our relationship. We weren't the type of cousins to hang out, spend time together outside of the family gatherings, but she understood really well some of my frustrations with the family, with one of my uncles in particular. I felt a lot of grief. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. There were different moments when I was like, I wanted to go to the other room because there was always this other room that her and the siblings were in. And just a part of me wanted to go to the other room to see her, just to honestly vent, bitch, get her to help me shift my mindset, if you want to say. And I couldn't. Like, that wasn't an option, you know? So I felt the grief. But at the same time, I felt so much gratitude. Gratitude to see family members I haven't seen in a while. Gratitude for the connection. Gratitude for this devoted time to people in my life. You know, I have no podcasts to worry about. I have no breathwork sessions to worry about. There's nothing really in my mind that I'm thinking about. It's just, we're here at my aunt's for Thanksgiving. I'm chilling. My mind's not thinking about what's to come. I've got days we're chilling. It's good. Also felt so much gratitude for the people around me, the family members that are here, and my own life. A lot of people in my life tell me how I'm so young because a lot of my friends are older than me. And I'm 28, but I'm starting to realize and witness and mentally compartmentalize just how sacred and precious and valuable life is and how it could be gone in the blink of an eye, which I know we know. And I know you guys know I think this because I say we're here, then we're not. But just so much of life has flashed almost before my eyes, I guess I could say. It hit me at one point this week when I was feeling some grief and I was missing my cuz, how also I'm really grateful for this devoted time with my loved ones and this special time with my mom. She's got some days off. And that's when I realized Thanksgiving isn't just about celebrating the good. It's about sitting with everything. The good, the bad, the joy, the pain, the gratitude, the growth, the grief, the pleasure, and everything in between that. When we give ourselves permission to feel all of these emotions, we open the door for something truly powerful. Transformation. These deep reflections I've been having also gave me a huge sense of gratitude for this podcast, for all of you who listen to Manders Mindset, who engage with me on social media. Regardless of how long you've been here, it means the world. You're a part of what makes this journey so meaningful. So thank you. Thank you for taking the time and energy to listen to me, regardless of who you are, where you're listening to me from, what space you're listening to me from. I appreciate it because you could be doing anything in the world right now, but you're listening to me on a podcast. Now, I want to invite you to reflect with me for just a few minutes. I want you to reflect with me. Now, you don't need to write pages or spend hours doing this. Could be a 3-minute practice. Yep, I said 3 minutes. This is just a quick check-in to help you reset and reflect after Thanksgiving. I invite you to grab a pen and paper and journal these out with me and really reflect on these. You can also think about these in your head, but there's so much power in pen to paper. I have mine. First, I want you to think about one thing you are truly thankful for from Thanksgiving. And now I want you to be specific. Very specific. Not my boyfriend. Not a specific person. Maybe it's something that specific person does for you. I want it to be specific. The more specific you can be with this, the better. Maybe it's something small. Maybe it's a moment that happened. Maybe you handled a conversation better than you normally would have. You set a boundary when your uncles wanted to say something to you and you told him you weren't having that conversation. Whatever it may be, one thing that you're really thankful for. Now, I want you to think about one thing you're not thankful for. Maybe it could be the pie example, or maybe you've always been late to Thanksgiving lunch or dinner. You've always been late to the Thanksgiving meal, and you told yourself this year you weren't going to be late, and you were still late. And maybe that's something you're not thankful for. Maybe when you got to Thanksgiving, you snapped at your brother when he said something about your outfit. And you're not thankful for how you handled that. Again, the more specific, the better. So what is that one thing? The first thing that comes to your mind when I say, what are you not thankful for from Thanksgiving? Finally, ask yourself this. What can both of these teach me? Yes, I said both. The one thing that you are really grateful for can teach you something. The thing you are grateful for can teach you so much as well. It can teach you about yourself, your values, your mindset, your beliefs, what you value in yourself, what you value in other people, a bunch of things like that. The thing that you are not grateful for can teach you how to change, how to level up your life. It can teach you what you don't want to continue. Thanksgiving just passed. The new year will be here before we know it. This year is almost gone. What are you leaving in this year that you are not thankful for? Maybe it's a belief. Maybe it's a habit that you're sick and tired that you keep falling back into. Only you know what that thing is. How can I use this to help me grow or shift to move forward and evolve? I'm going to repeat that. How can I use this to help me grow or move forward and evolve? Sometimes what we're not thankful for holds the biggest lessons. You can even tie this into what you're not thankful for from the past year and allow yourself to reflect and think, or of different moments, different times. Situations have happened. You've acted in a certain way and you're not thankful for this. But what can it teach you? Let me give you an example to try to help you understand what I'm getting at to progress and move forward. I had planned on recording a podcast episode with one of my friends, and the way timing worked out, I was away traveling on one of my many adventures, and he had a different engagement later that day, and I ended up arriving home later than planned. So things didn't work out according to plan, and we weren't able to record the episode. And I was really upset. And, I distanced myself because I got in my own head about how he didn't care to make time for me when I was making up this own story. When in reality, if I reflected, reviewed, and took that step back, if anybody was at fault for the situation, it was myself. Because I got home later than I was supposed to, and we weren't able to record when we had planned. So I took time, and this allowed me to realize, one, I didn't like how I reacted. Two, okay, now that I realized I didn't like how I reacted, I can change that behavior going forward. And I have. This reflection is about seeing both sides of the coin, the gratitude and the challenges, and using them to empower you forward and shift you to a more growth mindset, and I'm all about bettering myself every day in some way. My Instagram bio for the longest time was focused on bettering myself every day in every way. And I am. In some aspect, every single day, I am improving myself. It might be 0.5%, but 0.5% each day, I'm improved. Even if it's only 0.5%, 1%, maybe some days it's 0.25, but it's still a little improvement each day. And it adds up. Anyways, that's how you cultivate the change. And it's been a week of reflection and gratitude and grief and multiple emotions for me. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you may have seen my story. I posted a poll asking what y'all were feeling Thanksgiving week, whether it was thankful, joyful, grief, or overwhelmed. And the majority was thankful, but then grief, joyful, and overwhelmed were tied for second place. And if that does not explain or show that two different emotions can exist in one, and I had posted this story, and then the next slide was a photo of my cousin and my grandfather. And, it was a random photo I took, and my grandfather has the biggest smile on his face. Neither one of them are looking at me. They didn't even know I was taking the photo. And it's something so simple, but it brings me so much joy. Now, my grandfather, we love him more than anything in the world, but he's not big on smiling. A big thing I say a lot is, pa, smile, anytime we're taking a photo and he's in the photo. So, for reference, that's the person he is. He's a very happy man, but he's not always smiling. And I posted this poll and asked y'all what you were feeling this week. And then posted this photo to show that I'm feeling a lot of grief with it being the first holiday without Kay. And I'm also feeling so much joy in a really weird way for this photo. It's now my wallpaper. I'm not even in the photo, but it's my wallpaper. And it was something I really reflected on, and I wanted to bring to y'all's attention about finding that thing, even if it's something so small, even if it's a photo you took of people and they didn't know you were taking the photo and you're not in it. Like, it brings me so much freaking joy, and it might seem really weird, but grief is weird. And as I reflected on gratitude this past week, I thought about the small things and about the things that have helped me improve my life and increase more positive things within my life. Like my HydroJug. I love this thing. I really do. Yes, I am an ambassador, but this is not even me trying to sell you guys on HydroJug. But back when I first started my fitness journey, the two different things I started with was increasing movement and increasing water. And it wasn't this exact jug that I got back then, but it was a HydroJug that I got back then. And it helped me so much add in more water. And it's been a constant reminder to me to prioritize hydration and to have this with me. Anyways, this time of year, Thanksgiving and Black Friday, there's all these sales and deals, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I am looking to give back. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this. If you don't follow me on Instagram, hopefully now you will. But I am giving away a 40-ounce HydroJug Traveler, a solid black one. You can enter the giveaway on my Instagram. All you have to do is follow me at The Breathing Goddess on Instagram, like and share the post that I posted, and you'll be entered to win. If you follow Manders Mindset on Instagram, that'll give you an extra entry. This is my little way of saying thank you. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for tuning into Manders Mindset. Thank you for being a part of my Instagram fam. I absolutely love getting to share my journey, other people's journey with each and every one of you. So thank you so much. Good luck. And check out the Instagram post. Guys, here's the deal. The holidays can bring up many emotions, from grief to gratitude to overwhelm to frustration and everything in between. My biggest wish and hope for you guys is to be able to allow yourself to feel all of the emotions and embrace the duality and find lessons within the good and the challenges that you face. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for reflecting with me today. Don't forget to enter the HydroJug giveaway on my Instagram @TheBreathingGoddess. And in case no one told you today or this Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for you and your life has meaning. Don't forget that. I'm proud of you. I'm rooting for you. And you got this. Thanks, guys. Until next time.